This is the blowback version of the STI Duty 1 made by ASG. I got mine for 68 bucks and spare mags for this gun run at $10. This gun is based off the 5-inch Duty 1 made by STI, who is now called Staccato. The airgun looks like the original version it copied, well, very close to it, and if you know what year this version of the STI Duty 1 is, tell us down in the comments below. I'm curious. But hopefully you can see the difference between the actual gun and the airgun. The airgun version weighs 27 ounces, which is about 30% lighter than the actual Duty 1. I wouldn't call this gun an at-home trainer because if you can afford an actual Duty 1, then you probably live at the range. But this gun is great, honestly, and let me get on with it. For all the specifications I talk about in this review, see this video's description to see a Google sheet on this gun specs and all other gun specs I've reviewed as part of Gabby's Airguns. You'll see guns from Season 1 and Season 2. Before I continue with the rest of the review, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell to see next week's review of a BR-45 made by Bear River. I bet you didn't see that one coming. The Duty 1 uses the 20-round metal magazine that is very similar to quite a few airguns on this list, but none are interchangeable due to each being different lengths. I'm eventually going to do an episode on the different types of airgun magazines I've learned about throughout Gabby's Airguns, and when I post it, you can click on the gray card in the corner. The airgun is fine, however. I recommend covering the front hole and loading from the back. Once the mag is full, cover both holes with your fingers, or else all the BBs might shoot out once you release the spring. This gun sort of has an adjustable rear sight. You can slide it left or right, and then you have a little hex key on top to tighten the sight in place. If you over-tighten the hex key, however, it will adjust the elevation slightly until the whole sight pops out of place. I wish the sights on this gun were better, but they're definitely adequate. This gun has one slide safety located on the port side, along with the slide release. This gun also has the realistic feature of what I like to call the automatic slide release when you slam a new mag into the gun. Also, this gun has last shot slide lock, but mine has only started to work after the first few hundred rounds. The recoil on this gun is impressive. It is probably the strongest out of all the blowback guns I've tried. Gas not only shoots out the barrel, it also comes out the back of the slide. In my rounds per CO2 cartridge test, I was able to get 140 shots, or about 7 magazines worth. On the penetration test, the gun was able to get through 41 sheets of 20-pound paper at 12 feet. I recommend looking at this number in comparison to other airguns, so check out the Google sheet in the description. 41 sheets ain't that bad. For the grouping test, I shot at 12 targets at 12 feet, making 3 shots per target. I measured the distance between the 2 farthest shots, and then took the average of all 12 targets. I was able to get an average grouping of 1.04 inches, which is average for blowbacks. This gun shoots great. I measured the trigger pull in this gun, and it was around 6 pounds 4 ounces. The trigger does not feel like a 6-pound trigger, however. The only other gun in Season 2 so far with a 6-pound trigger is the Glock 19, but the trigger on the Duty 1 feels much smoother. The Duty 1 trigger has a long take-up, with the last 10% being a solid wall. This gun is great, and I highly recommend it, so this gun is Gabby approved. I can't wait to use it in the chicken house because I bet it will be just as fun to use as the Umarex 9XP. Click on the gray card or link to watch the 9XP in action. Click to the right to see the next review of a Bear River BR-45. Click on the left to see my last review of an M&P 40. To see all the other gun reviews I've done, see this video's description for a list. If you want to see the best gun I reviewed for Gabby's Airguns Season 2, click on the other link on the screen.